Well, hello, and welcome back to that thing we like to call Curless Mania, where we talk all things pop, rock, and prog. Today is a very special day. It's a panel day, which is like kind of doesn't hasn't happened in a while. So I'm really excited to have both Davey Cretin of Cretin Classics and Todd Evans from Recurrent with Todd Evans. So
Hello.
very excited to have you both on the channel. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we are here to talk about the Cars, and this is we're a little bit sad today because this is the final chapter of our Cars series. Davey and I've been going through all of the Cars albums, and this is the last episode that we're going to do on the Cars. But you can't say it wasn't extensive. We did everything. We haven't. I mean, we didn't do solo records, as Davey brought that up already. But we can do solo records. I'm like, I don't know if we're going to do that. We're not going to go that far deep, but we definitely did. We're doing all the Cars records. So anyway, this episode we are talking about the last chapter of the band, which is basically after Door to Door with the new Cars in quotes, with a different lineup, and then the unlikely reunion record, Move Like This. So there you go. There, Davey has the hard copy of it. Thank God he does. Which is wow, look at that. It's pretty basic.
Here's the booklet,
Okay.
and there are no pictures in the booklet except the cartoon pictures of the band in the background. I don't know if you could see them in the shadows there in the middle. And the song lyrics, no real photos of the guys, oddly enough. And it also came with this.
Oh, okay.
And it
All right.
says 2011 Move Like This commemorative pass with the tour dates
Oh,
on it.
tour dates.
Oh, mine didn't come with that.
11 dates, right? Yeah.
Yes, it's a little
Yeah.
laminate, and then you could punch it out and wear it as like a backstage pass.
Wow.
So
All right.
there's the album cover. There are the dates from the tour, which I regret not seeing, although I did see them on the Heartbeat City tour.
Yes.
And I did see the New Cars tour. Todd, did you see the New Cars tour?
I did. Yes.
So we'll definitely talk about that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's dig into that. So the new car. So the other thing I wanted to say is this episode we were joking around. We're going to call it the Orrless Cars because, of course, Ben is not. Unfortunately, very sadly, Ben is not part of any of these lineups, which is for me is kind of a gaping hole. I always say like it's almost like Yes without Chris Squire for me. The Cars without Ben Orr is just there's just something missing. Even though there's some great music coming, I'm not going to say there's not some great music. There is, but it's just you definitely miss Ben. Would you guys say? Would you agree with that?
Yes. Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
just something about having that other vocal is a big thing. And his bass, of course, his bass playing as well.
Yeah.
So
And Rick said that too. He said, well, I read a quote from him where he said about half of the songs on Move Like This, Ben would have sung better.
yeah. Yeah, there's one in particular that really hit me. I was like, "Oh, this! I could totally hear Ben singing this."
Yeah.
But I'll more on that later. So let's get into new cars. So basically, let's talk a little bit about the dynamics and how the new cars happened. So why did the new cars happen? Because Rick was not really that interested in any cars reunions or cars activity, is what I understand. And you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but band members would say, let's get the cars, dude. Let's do some car stuff. Let's get the cars back together. Let's do. And Rick was always like, nope, 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 nope. We're not doing it. Nope, nope. And so finally, I guess somehow they came to an agreement that if you call it something different, I'll give you your blessing to go ahead and do some stuff. Is that fair to say? Is that about right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think
Yes.
so. I
Yeah.
think so. I remember, and I wish I could find it. I couldn't find it, but I remember reading an interview with, I think it was an interview with Kasem back around the time, like maybe the year, maybe in 2006, where Todd Rundgren said to Kasem this year, I don't know whether they were talking about 2005 or 2006, but this year, you know what this year is? It's the year of the Utopia reunion. And then he got the offer to do the new Cars, and Kasem,
Oh,
was in that too. But I
right.
remember reading that and going, "Oh no," because that's what I wanted the most was the Utopia reunion. But we got that later. Yeah.
Yes. 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 So when was the Davey? When was the first time you heard about the new cars? Do you remember?
Well, I was working at the record store and it came out on a small label. It's released on 11/7, which is an independent label, so it never charted on the Billboard charts, and it sort of went unnoticed. It was a slightly big thing, but it's not as big as it should have been. And I saw an interview with Elliot Easton online recently. It's on YouTube, and the interviewer asked him what happened with the new cars. And he said there was a manager, he said he didn't want a name because Elliot Easton is not a fan of the guy, who approached Greg Hawkes first. You should go on tour. The car should go on tour. You guys would make a lot of money. It's a good thing. People love the cars. A lot of the new bands like Snow Patrol, Postal Service, they're doing throwbacks to the cars. You guys are beloved. You should go on tour. And Greg Hawkes spoke to Elliot, and Elliot was in. So the two of them went to Rick. Rick said no.
Mm-hmm.
So they thought, look, this is our legacy. Greg and Elliot said, this is our recorded legacy. We want to go out and present these songs to people. They asked David. David said, no, I'm retired. I'm done with music. Got my restaurant. I don't want to do it. So they said, well, let's get other people. They approached Todd. Todd always has his hands in a lot of things, does a lot of tributes. He does his own stuff, Utopia stuff. He needs money to fund his own stuff. He thought this is a good way I can make some money to fund my own albums and what I want to do. So he was in, he brought in Kasim Sultan. Everyone pronounces it differently. Kasim,
Yeah.
Kasim,
I
Kasim.
said Kasim my whole life, and then found out supposedly it's Kasem.
Oh, I
So,
said Kasim too for so
I
long.
always thought it
yeah.
was Kasim. So, but
Anyway,
Mr. Sultan on bass and Prairie Prince on drums, and that's the new Cars. And
yeah.
instead of putting out a whole new record, they only did 3 new studio tracks on this album. The rest of it is live Cars songs redone by the quintet. And they also covered some Todd classics on here. Now, when I saw them, they did some extra songs, and we'll discuss that later. And I'll see if Todd, if they did the same songs for you that they did when I saw them.
I'll be
But
looking
it's,
forward to hearing that because I don't remember any. So
well, I looked up
maybe
my
you'll
set
jog my
list
memory.
online for the show I was at, so I know the songs they did. And one, when I saw it, I said, yes, I remember them doing that. It's not on the record. So you got 15 Cars classics, actually less than that. You got the Todd covers, then you have the 3 studio songs. This album is called It's Alive because mainly it's a live album. Came out, I saw 2 different dates for it, either May or June of 2006, almost 72 minutes long. It was recorded, the studio tracks at Big Brother Studios. The live tracks were recorded at Center Staging Studios. They're both in California, produced by the new Cars. The 3 new studio tracks written by Todd Rundgren, Greg Hawkes, and Elliot Easton. And like I said, you got the other members, but on 2 of the 3 studio tracks, Kenny Aronoff, everyone knows him from John Mellencamp's band,
Sure.
plays drums on Not Tonight and also the song called More. But Prairie Prince does play on the other studio song called Warm. So that is the background information. Not Tonight was the first single, is the last thing I'll say, which came out March of 2006. And then the record, May or June, came out later.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, I remember hearing about the new Cars, but I don't know why I slept on that. I didn't go out to see them, which it's kind of odd because really think about that's a great band. That is an amazing band. And so did you guys both see them live?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And would you confirm that that was a great band and did they do like good versions of the songs?
Yes, I can confirm.
Yeah.
I mean, I had my own biases because I really wanted to see Utopia. So
Oh,
I thought,
right,
okay, well, I'll take this.
right, right.
But it
Yeah.
was always a little bit surreal combining those 2 bands, which is what I feel like the new Cars is. And so
Yeah.
that's always messed with my brain just a little bit because it feels like it almost feels like I say to myself, I should be even more excited about this.
Right, right. But yeah, no, but it's more of a consolation for you. Like, I want Utopia. But I mean, Utopia, though, is it fair to say that things like there's adventures in Utopia? There's songs that to me sound like they're trying to be the Cars. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear
There's a
that.
couple songs where I'm like, these sound like Cars songs almost.
Yeah, Last of the New Wave Riders, I think is the title.
Mhm.
dressed up and moving right up. Yeah.
Nice.
And I always thought that, what is it? You know, you make me crazy, or whatever that.
Oh, yeah,
Oh
that
yeah,
one
yeah,
especially.
Yeah.
yep.
But anyway, but yeah, but we're sidetracking here. But how, so the show was you guys both enjoyed the show? Yeah.
Todd, do you
Yeah.
want to go first and
Yeah,
talk
you
about
guys
Well,
your
just give
show?
little recaps of the show.
this is really weird for me. I should have looked up the set list on Setlist FM, but I don't remember a lot about it. I was
Okay.
really excited to see it. I went with one of my coworkers, and I thought they were great. I thought that they looked like the Cars. They had a very Cars-like stage setup. Do you remember that, Davey? Is that accurate to say that they looked like the Cars?
Yes.
And uh, yeah, it was just really solid. I mean, I have some things to say about that particular lineup doing the Cars songs and how they come out sometimes right and sometimes not. But overall, as a live show, it was very, very good, and it
Good.
felt like the Cars
Yeah.
to
Interesting.
me.
Yeah. Yeah. How about you, Davey?
Okay, my show, Elliot spoke about this in the interview. They had a bad bus accident. Elliot Easton had gotten up. They were going from one venue to another on tour in the middle of the night. Bus is driving fast. Elliot gets up to take a leak. Now, the bathroom was by the front, by where the driver is. All of a sudden, as Elliot's walking to the bathroom, he sees a car cut right in front of the bus. Bus slams on its brakes. Elliot goes flying, hits his left shoulder into the partition that separates the back of the coach, the bus, from the driver, and he broke his shoulder, his clavicle.
Wow.
So he had to go
Wow.
to the hospital. He's in pain. This is during the tour. He still had 5 dates to do on the tour. I think actually more. And they cut the tour short because every time he performed, he was in such pain.
Ooh.
And
Wow.
afterwards, he had to take pain medicine after the show because he was really badly hurt. This was right before the Jones Beach show because he said this happened, and that's where I saw them on Long Island, New York. Elliot Easton is from Long Island. He's a fellow New Yorker. He sounds a lot like me. I know it. And he said I was doing a hometown show and I had to do it in pain with friends from high school attending the show. So
Oh
this was an
man.
outdoor show. It was June of 2006. And Blondie opened. The whole thing that Elliot said in this interview is that the manager who was managing the new cars was also Blondie's manager. For some reason, he put the new cars as the headliner, Blondie as the opener. This is the only time I saw Blondie. I thought they were good. And I like the new cars better than when I saw the real cars back on the Heartbeat City tour because I was way in the upper deck of the Nassau Coliseum. I couldn't see Greg because the giant speakers were blocking him and they had no stage presence. The thing
Right.
about Todd Rundgren, and I've seen him other times doing Beatles tributes, two separate Beatles tributes at Westbury Music Fair, which is an intimate indoor venue. Todd has the stage presence to pull this off. So the new cars to me had more stage presence than the cars. So I thought it was an
Interesting.
enjoyable show. And the extra songs that they did at my show, they did Black Mamba, the Todd Rundgren song, and they also did Bang on the Drum or Bang the Drum All Day.
Okay. All right.
I don't want to work. I
Yeah.
just want to bang on the drum all day. Those are
Yeah.
not on the live album. It's a live. So they did two more Todd songs to make the set even longer when I saw them. And
Okay.
Todd actually spoke to the crowd, and Rick was never really into just connecting with the audience in that way. He was more of a studio guy, quiet, reserved, but Todd has that big oversized personality.
Yeah, I mean the Cars, we talked about this on other episodes that the Cars were sort of known for being icy live. They just were not,
Yep.
they just kind of stood there and they did great versions of the songs. Like you watch some of the stuff on YouTube, you're like, "Oh my God, they are nailing it." But they don't talk and they don't move and they don't, it's like there's no presentation of any kind. They just kind of stand there and play.
My feeling, I only saw the Cars on the Heartbeat City tour, and my feeling about it is that it's really about the presentation and not about watching them play as a band.
Right.
Because I have this memory of that Heartbeat City show being this really elaborate stage. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, they were all on different levels. like it was a three-dimensional stage, if
Oh
I
wow.
remember it correctly.
Okay.
In, sort of at least. I mean, it wasn't like it was a
Mhm.
big mountain or anything, but I remember it having a lot of dimension, and there were a whole bunch of TV screens, like as part of the show, and I thought that the presentation was very Cars-like, and I
Cool.
had read all for years that that's how it was going to be when you see them, is that they're
Mhm.
pretty lifeless. So I was ready for that.
Yeah, I guess if you're ready, if your expectation is there,
Yeah.
so um
Well,
yeah,
that's where, excuse me for a sec,
go
that's
ahead.
where the title of Move Like This comes from.
Yeah.
Besides that, it's a lyric in the second song, Too Late, it's also they're joking about their stage presence that they really didn't have any.
Right, right,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. So that's a good transition. So let's move on to Move Like This, which was
Actually,
the surprising reunion, right? I mean, everyone was shocked that Rick came back, right?
Right, but can we just talk about the three studio
Oh,
tracks
yes. Sorry,
quickly?
go ahead. Yes. Yep, yep.
The three studio tracks from the new Cars. You have first Not Tonight, which was the single. It's a 3.5 minute song, predated the release of the full length. And although it's credited to the trio, I think this sounds the most Cars like out of the three songs. You get a great guitar solo from Elliot Easton, that classic guitar solo that the Cars were known for, sterling background vocals, and you get Gregor's, as I put, his synthy keys, bleeps and bloops. Now, to me, Todd does a passable Rick Ocasek interpretation on the song, but his voice is like deeper and lower. That's why it works on some, like Todd was saying, when they did all the songs live, Todd thinks it works on some live tracks and not on others. He's not Rick,
Yeah.
but he brings his own flair to the songs, let's say. And of course, the lyrics are not as quirky as Rick's, but then whose are? And since Todd is singing the line wink, wink, it doesn't come off as silly to me. Now, other people
Mhm.
saying wink, wink in a song lyric to me might come off a little silly, but Todd pulls it off here. And for years, I thought this song was called But Not Tonight because in the chorus, they sing, But Not Tonight. And that's actually a Depeche Mode title. So that's probably why they just named this Not Tonight. But when you work in a record store, you put a CD on, you don't look at the packaging, you don't
Right.
study it,
Yep.
you're not looking at the lyrics, and you hear But Not Tonight. So I always thought that was the name of the song, and it's called Not Tonight. So I was wrong. The only negative criticism I have about this song is that it's a little dated to the 2000s because Todd mentions BlackBerry in the lyrics. Send
Oh,
an
interesting.
email, and he mentions BlackBerry. This about 2/3 into the song. I think it's right after the guitar solo. So that sort of timestamps it to the year 2005, 2006 when the
Right.
song was written.
Right.
But I think Not Tonight's a great song, and I always love that song. And although I hate to say this, I like it better than anything on Move Like This, I think.
Okay. Wow. All right.
What do you guys think of Not Tonight?
I've got some things that I wanted to say about it. I think the background vocals are just absolutely nailed. Um,
Mhm.
they're the lyrics. It's like Todd tried to write a Rick Ocasek song and he didn't quite get it right. There's one part of the lyrics where he says, "I can make some calls, move things around, and cancel stuff." And the way he says it sounds like Rick, but Rick would have never have said that. Those
Right.
are all things that Rick would never have said. So it's like it is and it isn't, sort of, and that's really jarring for me because I'm just like, okay, Rick Ocasek songs, the lyrically tend to be more about the sounds of words and saying cool things, saying cool
Yes.
phrases,
Yes.
and sounding kind of like he's talking about something that we don't quite get. And Not
True.
Tonight is very literal. It's very easy to follow. It's not hiding behind any kind of flashy words or anything. It's kind of right there in front of you. And that's really not Rick's style. So that was the impression that I got of it. And it's bouncy, like a car song is bouncy, but it misses some of the quirkiness because it's Prey Prince and not David. Prey Prince at times sounds like, and you hear this live versions of the songs. He's nailing some of the fills. He plays a lot of them, just like uh, uh, David Robinson does. But he's more of a rock drummer, and David Robinson is this kind of really quirky, unusual drummer. And so for me, Not Tonight tries to do the bouncy kind of Cars pop song thing, and it gets a lot of it right, but still isn't quite right. There's just something about it that isn't quite there. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but
That's interesting that you bring up the drumming because that's you're right. It's very
which is
interesting. David Robinson is a very distinctive drummer.
he is, and even though sometimes it's programmed, it's still there's a certain sound to Cars songs, and then you've got Kenny Aronoff on this song or
yep,
Prairie Prince on the live songs, and it's just like, oh, it's very I mean it's very good, very
Right.
well played, but it has a rock edge to it that
Right.
David Robertson doesn't have
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
much of.
Yeah.
Those are
Interesting.
my thoughts.
Yeah. Well, I didn't come prepared for these tracks. I didn't listen to these tracks, so I'm not gonna. You guys did a great job with that, though. So I'm just gonna let that. But I need to go. I need to go listen to them now. Now I'm dying to go listen to them. So, because I'm curious to see what you guys this things that you're pointing out. And it's interesting that the drumming came up. I just think that's very interesting. So let's move on to Move Like This. So we thought, most people thought, okay, the new Cars tour is over. That's the end of the Cars, right? That's it. That's all we're gonna ever hear from them. Shocking that they made a record in 2000 that dropped in 2011, and just the four of them without Ben, and then they hired producer Jackknife Lee, who had worked with U2 and REM and a lot of big names. And they brought him in, and I guess they dropped a Facebook post or something with a picture of him or a picture of the car. I can't remember who it was, but they dropped some hints that the cars were coming back. The social media
I
thing, that
vaguely
social media
remember that.
marketing thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so do you guys remember that happening?
I do. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't remember the specifics of it, but I remember that that's how we found out.
Yeah.
I think it
Yeah.
was the image of the cover without the words on it.
Oh, was
Yes.
it? Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Like the
Cool.
different colored shots of the band
Like
members looking like cartoon
like the
figures. Yeah.
silhouette figures. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, that's the word, silhouettes.
Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, no, that's great. And so, yeah, so everyone was like all excited, like, oh my God, the car's like doing something again. Oh my God, they're getting back together. This is great. Because Rick had said something about you can bet on it. Like it's never happening. Like it's not
Mhm.
gonna happen. Cars are dead, never happening. You can put money on it. I mean, he was very definitive. It was not like, oh, never say never. It wasn't like that. It was like, no.
It says that in this great book.
Yes, it does. Yes. They talk about that quite a bit in that book, if I remember right. Yes, that he was adamant that it wasn't going to happen. Um, really good book, by the way. If you're a Cars fan, goes very deep. But yeah, so it's shocking that they got back together and the four of them and with a producer and got into the studio, and it's really it's better that it's better. It's better than it, when you listen to it, you go, wow, this is crazy. I guess my expectations were so low going in. I just thought, oh, we'll see. And then I thought, wow, this is better than it should be, really, as far as a reunion record that happened that much later. It's pretty some of the songs in particular I think are very impressive and sound very, very Cars like. So what are your all right, we'll start with Todd. What is your impression of this record? Just overall impressions.
Well, I think that there's a couple of things that they nailed. They nailed the background vocals. Background vocals are right. And this is produced by half by the Cars and half by Jackknife Lee, who at the time was kind of famous for producing the last couple of REM albums that everybody seemed to like a lot. But prior to that, he's famous for other things, and I'm not really sure what. But because when he produced REM, I didn't know who he was. But
Right.
they get this they get it really right. They also get the bouncy feel for David. It sounds right,
Yes.
whether it's programmed or whether it's real drums. It sounds like the Cars, and so they nail that. There's a lot of synth bass that works too. It looks really good in the arrangements. There are a couple of the things that I wanted to mention. There aren't any guitar solos. There's
Yes,
maybe like
thank you.
little
Thank you.
brief
Yes.
snippets here and there.
Yes.
There's one
There's
point,
one.
like
Right.
David just said, there's one
Right.
spot where there
Right.
technically is one. But I think that hurts it because it makes the songs not seem memorable when you're actually listening to them. There's not a hook that gets in your head, like when you think, oh, move. If somebody said, oh, what's move like this, like, and you hadn't listened to it lately, you'd be like, you know what? I think I need
Um,
to listen to it before I can just, have a feel for what these songs are like. And I
it's
think
so
that
true.
hurts it, and I
Yeah.
think it makes it less memorable. Elliot Easton says that Rick told him that that's how he wanted it.
Yep.
So,
Yep. Yep.
so I mean, you can't really argue with that. I feel like that there's two ballads. There was one called Soon, and the other one's called Take Another Look, and they're both very, very, very good. They have all of the elements, they have all the ingredients of a great Cars ballad. They've got great Greg Hotz keyboards on them, but still, they sound like they're missing something to me. And I don't know whether that's that they don't have a solo. I don't know whether that's that they should have been sung by Ben and not Rick, but they couldn't have been sung by Ben.
Right.
So
Right.
that's how I feel about the two. I feel like I should like those two songs a lot more than I do, but it just feels like there's something that's not quite there. And the end of the album kind of seems a little anticlimactic. Like
Mhm.
it just feels like when you get to Hits Me that, oh, we're out of time. I mean, it doesn't have like a Dangerous Type or Heartbeat
Right.
City, where
Right.
you really feel like, oh, it's been leading up to this. Oh, I can feel this
Yes.
is the album. It
Yeah.
feels like it just kind of stops. It's kind of like,
Yeah.
well, we're done.
Like a
And
timer went off. Okay, bing,
right.
it's over. Yeah.
And that's not really a criticism because there's
Right.
nothing wrong with the last song on the album. It just doesn't have that epic feel. It's just like, here's 10 car
Right.
songs.
Yeah.
So
But like
those are my impressions of it. I've been
yeah.
asked to rank the Cars catalog twice on two different shows, and I don't know. Maybe somebody can tell me in the comments if they don't match. But I always picked Move Like This as at the bottom. But I
Okay.
always say it's not because I don't like it, because I think it's pretty great, and I was really impressed with it came out when it came out, and I still like it. But something has to be on the bottom. And
Yeah.
because it's missing a couple of key elements, that's why I always put it at the bottom.
All right, that's great. That's great. Okay, all right, Davey, how about you? What are your impressions of this record overall?
Okay, just to give some quick background information,
Sure.
recorded between 2010 and 2011, came out May 10th, 2011, recorded at the Village Recorder in LA, California, and Millbrook Studios, which is Rick's place in Millbrook, New York, where he and Paulina had an apartment, had a house. It was released on Hear Music through Concord, which is again not a major label, sort of indie. They used to be
Mhm.
on Elektra.
Right.
Now they've taken a little bit of a step down. This record is not even 38 minutes long. It's a very short record, like Todd said, produced by the Cars and Jackknife Lee, where you have the bass duties, because Rick specifically said, and it says it in this great book, that Rick didn't want anyone replacing Ben. Although he and Ben had a lot of tension back in the day, he thought once Ben was gone, there's no one who could replace his voice, his bass playing. Now, when this record came out, like Todd, I said, where are the guitar solos? There's only one song that really has a solo, which is track 3, side 1, Keep On Knocking, which is a little under 4 minutes. And it has a sort of a different sounding Elliot Easton guitar solo. Sort of like he holds one note, then goes to another note. It's not as fluid. It's a little more industrial sounding. It reminds me of another solo from another Cars record, but it hasn't hit me, no pun intended, for the last song on the record. As to which song it reminds me of, I love Blue Tip, which was, I think, the first single that they teased by playing a little bit of it, little over 3 minutes long. Love Sad Song a lot. The second song, Too Late, which is, I think, another bit of a ballad. I really like it. That's where the title comes from. Move Like This is in the lyrics. I like Hits Me because it has the line, and I was looking, not looking, but looking. And I was looking like Ichabod Crane. So I love that Rick Ocasek lyric that he's calling himself Ichabod Crane because he
Mhm.
just has that look. He's tall, he's thin, he's a little gaunt, you might say, at the time. So he was looking like Ichabod Crane, and he says it in the lyrics. You get the quirky lyrics here once again, which is different from the new Cars. And I like this record. And I did an album ranking, one of my first shows on Cretin Classics. I ranked all the Cars albums, and this was my least favorite. It's not a bad record, but it's not a great record. It's a good
Right.
record. And it's missing Ben, of course, on vocals and bass. And it's missing the Elliot Easton guitar solos, which the new Cars had in spades. Even on the ballad they did Warm, there's some nice Elliot Easton riffs in the middle that are sort of like a solo, but not a solo. But here it's on one song. And my friend who was in the industry, who was friends with Elliot back in the day, spoke to him when the record came out. He's like, Elliot, where are the guitar solos? He said, that's what Rick wanted. And
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
reading back in the day, the reason Rick did this reunion was because his two young sons with Paulina had never seen the Cars because they broke up in '87. And the boys
Oh,
weren't even born, or they were just born then. And I heard
right.
Rick did this just so he could show his boys, well, this is what your father did when he
Right.
led this band.
Right.
So that's
That's
another reason they got back together. And Rick, I'm sure, was also jealous of the new Cars because
yeah.
when Rick appeared, he was friends with Stephen Colbert. Before he had his own show on CBS that just ended recently, he had the Colbert Report on Comedy Central where he played this character. He had Rick Ocasek on a few times on the show, and he had a thing where you'd put someone on notice. And when Rick was a guest on the Colbert Report, Stephen Colbert said to Rick, is there anyone you want to put on notice? And Rick said, yes, Todd Rundgren.
Ooh,
So there was
interesting.
definitely some animosity. He was jealous of the new Cars. He was angry they did it. I'm sure he made money off the royalties, where he wrote
Right.
almost every song on It's Alive. So I
Yeah.
like the record, but I don't love it because it's missing a few key factors that were on every other Cars record, the
Yeah.
solos and Ben Orr.
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. You guys took the words right out of my mouth. Those are the two major gaps in this record are the no Ben Orr, and I mean you're just dying to hear a Ben Orr vocal. And that to me, when I listened to this record all the way through, by the end, I'm like, oh, I mean, it just feels like all the other Cars records have that back and forth vocal thing. And it
Yeah.
kind of it makes it, I don't know how it does it. It makes it feel lighter and better. And I don't know, something about it. And when you just hear Rick the whole time, you're kind of like, okay, this feels like a Rick solo record after a while. And then, like, to your point, no guitar solos, which is just bizarre. I mean, one guitar solo, but that's ridiculous. Having someone like Elliot Easton in your band who plays amazing guitars and I mean, probably laid down some of the most memorable guitar solos I've ever heard. I mean, you can
Yeah.
you can
Agreed.
sing his solos. I mean, Best Friend's Girl, you can sing the solo. It's crazy. So to me, to have someone like that in your band and not let them do their thing and just not utilize that is just odd. It's just very strange. I think that there was in the book, I think that you're showing that they do talk about how there was some ego. I don't know if it was ego clashing going on between Elliot or if Elliot was pushing Rick in a weird way that Rick didn't like or something. There was some tension between those two. And I think maybe that coalesced in him like, no solos on this album, you know, kind of thing. Um,
Well, instead of the tension being between Rick and Ben, it was between Rick and Elliot.
yes,
Because Elliot said,
exactly.
okay, I'm going to go into this with a good attitude. And then he said, no, he's not letting me do guitar solos. He's leading the band. He's running things. It's the same old stuff. And
Yeah,
that's putting it kindly as to what he says in the book. Now,
right.
this book by Bill Janovitz. Bill Janovitz is the author of the book here. And if
Mhm.
memory serves, he was in the band Buffalo Tom.
Yes, he
Do I
was.
have the right band name
That's
here?
correct. Buffalo Tom. Yep, from Boston. Yep,
Yep, there it is, Buffalo Tom. There's a
yep,
picture
yep.
of Bill Janovitz, and it does say that he did lead Buffalo Tom. I did
Yeah,
remember the
I was a
band.
big fan of Buffalo Tom. I actually went to go see them in Milwaukee, and I met Bill briefly, just really briefly after the show. He was a really nice guy. It's really cool. But yeah, so I would say that it would be last on my my listing as well, my ranking, because of those major things. But I will say the one thing I was going to say, and I don't know if you guys agree with this, I really like the Jackknife Lee songs. Like I feel like that maybe an outside producer like pushed them a little harder or something like that, or maybe it was good to have
Yeah,
an
I
extra
agree.
person. You know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
something more. The ones that are produced by him seem to have more energy to them. Like I really like Blue Tip a lot, and I really like Sad Song. And
Yeah.
Sad Song's the one I'm like, I want to hear Ben on that. Like Ben, imagine Ben singing Sad Song. It would be so killer, you
Yeah.
know? Um,
And those are two Jackknife productions on here.
yeah. Yeah, and I like Free. I mean, I do like Too Late. That's not a Jack Life. Too Late is a great song. It's a good melody and a good song. I like that one a lot. But Free and Soon and Hits Me, those are all the Jackknife Lee songs. There's
Yes.
something more energetic about those songs. Um, I don't know, maybe sonically as well. I'm not sure, but that's my take on it. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I agree with that too.
yeah. So but yeah, I mean, it's I'm glad that they did it. I'm glad it exists. You know, is it an essential Cars record? Not sure about that. You guys are also, I know both of you are fans of Door to Door. So would you
Yes.
say that this is quite a bit, that Door to Door is a lot higher than this one?
I would, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And what is the Door to Door song that we talked about that we all love? It's late in the record. That's like, what the heck? Why is
Oh, I think it was Go Away.
yes,
That's the
go
one you
Yeah.
away.
love.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is such a good song.
That's my favorite car song.
Is it? Oh my God, that's
Yeah.
awesome. I love
It
that.
doesn't sound like a leftover to me. I've heard that all of those songs were songs that were just kind of sitting around that they decided to go back and work on, and I think that's their best song.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
It's
not like it's their best song by far.
right, right,
It's a very
right.
difficult choice. There are
Yeah.
other songs that are right on its heels, but
Yeah. Yeah. But Todd, you mentioned too that the Cars were really good at first and last songs, right? Like
yeah, yeah,
when you think about their records, like All Mixed Up, oh my
yeah.
God, so
Dangerous
killer.
Type.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dangerous Types, another. Oh my God, like what? These are amazing songs, you know.
Up and down. I'm a big
Up
up
and
and
down.
down fan.
Yes, up and down. Exactly, exactly.
The
So they were.
title track of Panorama, first and
Yep,
last again.
yep, yep. No, they were really good at that. There was something I
Pretty good
love.
at second songs too. Shake It Up, Touch and Go.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. Good point.
They
Good
were
point.
good. They were good sequencers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I love Touch and Go. So we're getting a sidetrack. But that is like still what I love. That probably might be my favorite Cars because it's also sentimental because I taped it off the radio. It's one of those where you're like, I get you know, I hit record and I got it off the radio and I used to listen to that song just nonstop. I just thought it was so cool.
I did
Yeah,
that all
Yeah.
the time. I would tape stuff off the radio back in the day.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. So that I would say we hit it pretty well. I would any final thoughts on any of this that we talked
Yeah,
about?
one more thing that I read in the book that Elliot had a problem with when he went in to record Move Like This. Jackknife Lee had laid down some guitars and Elliot wanted
Oh,
to replace them. And Rick said, nah, don't bother. Let's not waste the time. Just leave it. It's good enough.
Oh
And that really
wow.
set Elliot off.
Oh
Like,
my
this is a
God.
Cars record. I have no solos. I can't replace the bed guitar tracks. What am I here for? That's when he said this was BS.
That's
yeah.
understandable.
And on top of that, I'm sure a lot of the guitars that are on there are Rick's. So,
Right, right. Yeah. I mean, I could understand Elliot's frustration on that. I mean, that's
yeah, me
ridiculous.
too.
Totally agree. Like, that's crazy. Like, what? What do you mean? I'm the guitarist in the band. Like, what is that? What is
And it
happening?
always said lead guitar, Elliot
Right.
Easton, rhythm guitar, Rick. That's how
Yeah.
it was on all the records.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. No, this is crazy. Obviously, Rick had a problem, some kind. But anyway, who knows?
Now I have to see what it says here. There's my booklet. How is it credited? Okay, Elliot Easton, guitar, backing vocals, Rick Ocasek, vocals, guitar, keyboards. So it does not say lead guitar
All
on
right.
Move Like This.
Okay. No lead guitar.
Truth in advertising.
It wasn't allowed. It wasn't
Really?
allowed. Uh, all right, gentlemen. Well, thank you so much again for joining me tonight for this final Cars in our Cars series. I think this was a good one to end it on. So thank you so much for all your contributions, and it's really fun.
Thank you,
Thanks
Tom
for
and
having
Davey,
us.
both of you.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting me tag along on this one.
No problem. Hey,
Yeah.
Todd, one question. On
Yes.
the other song on the new Cars, it's called, where's the track here? The song called More, the third
Huh?
song. To me, that sounds like a Utopia song. What
It
do you
does
think
to
of
me too.
More?
It sounds like Fix Your Gaze and Monument, which are the last two Utopia songs prior to that. To me, it sounds like both of them. It doesn't sound like the Cars at all. But when it came out, I loved it because it sounded like Utopia. So.
Okay.
And I think Warm, the other song, sounds like it could have been on Ever Popular Tortured Artist Effect or Healing.
Oh,
So,
geez.
yeah, I mean, those are great songs, but they're also kind of a fail because they don't sound like the Cars.
Right.
Just
Right.
just Not Tonight does. That's the most
Yeah,
Cars sounding song
yeah,
of the three new songs on It's Alive, the live album.
Okay,
yeah.
I am checking that out right after this because now I love those Todd Rundgren records. So if they sound like that,
Yeah,
I'm
me
gonna be
too.
excited. Yeah, because people, it's funny. Okay, we're getting last tangent, the Grand Arthur tangent. Here we go. So the okay, a lot of people say that the what is it? The ever tortured artist effect. What is it? Tortured artist effect.
Yeah, that's
The
right.
ever popular
Ever
torture.
popular.
Popular,
I
yeah,
think.
There it
right.
is. Thank you. Ever popular tortured artist effect. Was Todd getting out of his contract with Bearsville? Is that correct? Like
I have heard that,
he was
but
throwing together like a bunch of songs like without care, just throw them down and just like get out of my contract. I think that record's great.
yeah, and I've never really thought that either. I mean, you've got Emperor of the Highway, which is a lot like some of the quirky things that he did early in his career, and Drive and Chant are both great.
Right.
Influenza is great. Yeah, I think that's a great record.
Oh, I love that album. I love it. And
It's
isn't
got to be the
Hideaway on
best
that?
contractual obligation album ever.
Yeah, isn't Hideaway on that too?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I mean, there's so many good songs on that album. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, that's the end of tangent. So so guys, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And go check out their channels, of course. Cretin Classics and as well as and then Todd Evans, Recurrent with Todd Evans. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. And I will have their links below, of course. We're all YouTubers here. We're just supporting each other. So go check out their channels. And that's it. We'll see you. I guess we'll just have to see you next time on Curless. Oh, wait, you got one more thing?
Just one more thing, if I
All
could
right.
say it.
Sure.
Both of these gentlemen, Todd and Tom, will be on an upcoming panel show on Cretin Classics, but we're not going to reveal what it is yet because it's such a cool idea. I don't want anyone stealing it.
That's right. It's quiet. You got to keep those things quiet because you never know. I'll keep it on the down low. All right. Well, that is true though. There's going to be more to come, so check that out. Or stay tuned, I should say. But that's it. Thanks again, guys, and we will see you next. If you like what you see, hit subscribe and hit like on the like button. Smash that like button, as the kids like to say. Thank you so much. And we'll see you next time on Curless Mania. Take care. See ya.